Okay, let's continue GarageBand's interface and focus on the top half, but not a field goal though. Alright, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the tracks. Now we're going to focus in on this section, this general section right here. But first, what is a track? A track is generally an individual instrument. And by individual instrument, I mean, for example, a guitar. So within the track, you only hear the guitar. Or, for another example, piano. You can have the piano track or a bass track. So that allows us to manipulate, control, edit, and hear each one of these instruments within our musical composition. Now first you want to make sure that you are very organized with the tracks because you might have multiple guitars going on. So I'm going to go ahead and select the lead guitar or our talk box track right here. And you can just go ahead and click on this area and that highlights a track which shows that we are working or controlling this track as of right now. So let's just say I want to give this track a better name than Talkbox because Talkbox is that's a very general name, and we have other guitars going on within this mix such as Crisp and Moving, and you can name those as well. So let's go ahead and you just give it one click on the Talkbox and that brings up this little box. And I'm going to name it lead guitar, but I'm going to abbreviate guitar with GTR, just so it's not too long and still readable. Okay, so once our track is renamed and we are very organized within our tracks, let's go ahead and move to this button right here. This button is the record enable button. Basically for this button is it allows multiple track recording. So if I wanted to say record the lead guitar part and the grand piano at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and just click both record enable buttons. That way they can both be recorded at the same time. And then after I've got those clicked, you just go down to the bottom and hit the well-known record button, and that'll get us started. Now just to the right of the record enable button is the mute button. I'm just going to go ahead and unable these tracks. Okay. Now just to the left of the record enable button is the mute button. And as you can see, it's labeled with a little speaker and then it's crossed out, so it's a pretty self-explanatory icon. But the mute button, what the mute button does is it mutes that single track. So if we wanted to take out something, if we think something sounds funky within the mix, and we can slowly take out one track at a time to see what's causing the problem. And let's go ahead and show this for example. As you see, we have our track going on. We're still on our funk track here, and I'm going to hit the mute button. Now you don't hear that lead guitar part anymore. And now it's brought back. And as you can see, when you click it, it does gray out the entire audio regions just to give you a visual aspect that it's not there, that you cannot hear it within the mix. Okay, so I'm going to stop that. And I'm going to unmute the track. Now, just to the right of that, we have the solo button. Now the solo button does the complete opposite of that. But as you can see, the solo button is marked with this headphone icon. Have you ever heard of glove compartment and how the glove compartment is inadequately named? I'm going to have to say that within GarageBand, this headphone icon is an inadequate icon. But anyway, if we go ahead and click on the solo button, that highlights this track and grays out every other track. Now what that does is we can only listen to this track, and it's a quick and effective way to listen, or just to zero in on one track if we want to focus on the lead guitar part, and we don't have to click on mute button on every single track. Because let's just say if you have 30 tracks open within a song or a musical composition, 29 clicks is going to be a lot of clicks for you, so you can just hit one click for the solo track or for the solo button and easily mutes out everything else. Let's go ahead and listen to that and hit the solo button. As you can see, it's only the lead guitar, and let's bring in everything else again. Alright, I'm going to hit stop. Okay, and just to the right of the solo button is the lock button. Now the lock button is very efficient because let's just say you're done editing a track, or the audio region is fine, and you want to make sure you don't mess it up. You can just hit that lock button, and then the little icon changes to a closed locked. And what this does is it doesn't let you move the audio regions whatsoever. You have to unlock the track if you want to edit anything. So if I wanted to take this audio region and slide it to the left or right, for example, I'll click and I'll move it to the right. This window comes up, says this track is locked. Unlock the track before making changes. We can go ahead and unlock it here, or just hit cancel and manually unlock it if we want. Or just, if that was a mistake, then we just keep going on with whatever we're doing. Now, one thing about the lock button is it does not lock the mixing aspects of that. And we're going to take a look at that within the next video.